Team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Do you want boots that actually feel good on your feet? Meindl delivers premium German-engineered comfort, brought to you right here from Nebraska. Built tough for trails, fields, and everyday wear, and backed by Meindl's Comfort Promise, so you can try them on with confidence. Use promo code THETICKET at MeindlUSA.com, spelled MEINDL, for free shipping. That's MeindlUSA.com. Meindl, comfort you have to feel to believe.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at HuskerFanTravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197. Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostreiter. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Monday, folks. It is gorgeous outside on this September 22nd. Yesterday, of course, was the September 21st, and there's a song, Nick. Do you remember?
The 21st of September.
Yeah. You know that song?
I do know that song. It'd be bad if I don't know.
September. Yeah, September 21st. It is the 22nd.
Do we want to forget the 20th of September?
What's that?
Nebraska falls to Michigan?
What are you talking about?
That's what I thought.
No idea what you're talking about.
There it is.
Hey, before we go on, though, Nick, I want to give a big shout out to the entire team at Arbor Day Farms, to Rachel and to Austin that welcomed me, Nick, and Austin in, Gracie and Ellie as well. The amazing tour.
Yeah.
Just just welcomed us, the way they hosted us, the welcoming, the entire team.
The way they fed us.
The way they fed us. What was Chef's first name?
Garrett.
Chef Garrett
Casper.
And then Ben was the groundskeeper as well.
Orchard manager. I mean, we had a ton of fun out there Friday all day. So I want a big shout out to Arbor Day Farms and to the foundation. We appreciate you. My family tore up the apples, apple juice, as well as the donuts. That cider was incredible. It was incredible, wasn't it, man? I know. I just dove into the apple butter last night. Oh man. And it was scrumptious. Say that again. Scrumptious. See the apple what? Apple butter. Apple bottom jeans and boots with the fur. Oh, I just want to say it to my ear. Apple bottom, man. Okay. Apple. But yeah, it was, Nick, how was it, man? It was so good. You just eat it just plain, or you put it on something? Well, I put it on something. I'm not just going to take spoonfuls out of the jar of apple butter. I did. No, you did not. Yes, I did. Not the apple butter. I had 2 spoonfuls. I'm not going to lie. That's bad. You know what? That's where we draw the line. Bad is in the eye of the beholder. Well, I'm the beholder, and that's bad. Pius, no, that's not Pius the 10th. Everything, I'm beholden to everything, and I'm the eyes of all. I'm omnipresent. Pius the 10th. Oh, okay. Thank you. No, you can't just take it. Just take a little spoonful right out of there. It's like Uncle Chuck's good old something for your belly. Yeah, look like Big Hero 6 coming up in a couple of weeks. What you been eating recently, AD? I'm taking spoonfuls of apple butter. You ever had apple butter, buddy? And I mean, right out of the can. It's good stuff. That's exactly it. Out the jar was good, Nick. Well, that's good. I'm glad for you. It was delightful. So I want to give a shout out. It was also good on toast, like a normal person. Yes. So now I'm not normal. So more or less. Now I'm saying because you at Pius 10th, you dictate who's normal and who's not. That's not it at all. That's basically what you're saying, Nick. We can let this be up to the text line 464-5685. What is the more
We're not talking about proper. We're just saying,
Okay, well-
YOLO, you live YOLO,
well-
man.
Okay.
You only live once.
I know what YOLO means.
You sure? It is one of your generation's, acronyms.
Yep.
You guys can't spell, but nevertheless.
Yeah. We can't spell. Gen X can't talk. I'm kidding. I joke. I 100% joke.
You didn't lit a fire.
No, I 100% joke.
I didn't start the fire.
No. There's issues with all generations.
There definitely is, man. But there was no issues with our time there at Arbor Day Farms and with the food and the items they gave us. So big shout out to them. They have. I'm curious, Nick, of the numbers they got on yesterday because it was a gorgeous day. Little off and on, little drizzle here and there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that didn't deter many people from going out to the Applejack Festival.
Disc Golf Jake on the text line says eating it out of the jar and it turns into apple butter. But don't be a hater, Nick. Okay, I apologize. Right. Maybe I'm in the wrong.
You just take that bite and you say, "See you later."
Yep.
It's good stuff. Hey, also real quick, folks, want to give a shout out to Husker Volleyball. They go 10-0, go undefeated in non-conference play. They took care of business. That was a nice nightcap after the Saturday afternoon game at Memorial Stadium. Now, of course, Nebraska falls to Michigan, which we were going to spend the majority of the show talking, 30-27. Lady Huskers, number one of the nation, proved again why they're number one of the nation. They go with a 3-0 sweep over AZ. And again, they go into conference play undefeated. Nick, they showed who they were and why they are number one of the nation for a reason. It was fairly dominant.
Yeah. I mean, it was. And I was saying this yesterday on the air. How fortunate are we to just expect Nebraska? When you looked at this non-conference schedule, you could probably say, I mean, Nebraska played somewhat of a gauntlet, right? They had to play Pitt right out of the gate, played Stanford as well, played Kentucky. They had to play some pretty formidable opponents. Their non-con was not necessarily a cakewalk by any means. And Creighton obviously is in that conversation as well. So you're talking about 4 of the 6 teams that they played right off the top of my head were top 20, because I think the lowest out of those 4 was Creighton at 18th in the country. And Creighton is much better than 18th in the country. They have played a gauntlet. You want to talk about a gauntlet of a schedule, the Creighton Blue Jays, but that's enough Creighton talk there. So no, I mean, Nebraska doesn't shy away from anybody.
No.
And they have passed every test, and there's certainly been a couple of them, including the reverse sweep against Kentucky.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That by far to me, Nick, the 2 games that are most impressive to me is the reverse sweep, to be down like that and to come back and say, okay, I can still see Alec and who's Harper just smiling at each other, like, okay, let's play Nebraska.
Yeah.
Let's play Nebraska volleyball. And they did and took care of business. And also because of all of the, just everything that goes into an interstate rival, last week beating Creighton at home at their place was big. So big shout out to the Husker volleyball team. Again, DBK, they're just doing their deal and the whole time. And they're so freaking deep on the depth chart, but they're just interchangeable. It's plug and play right now for Nebraska.
Well, I think one fascinating thing when you look at Nebraska volleyball right now is we're starting to see Virginia Adriano start to come into form. And it's been, 10 matches, right? I think the other day against Arizona, it was like one of those things of, okay, this looks like an Olympian. We've seen flashes from everybody, but we're seeing where, Virginia's a player that joined the team a little bit later. The chemistry might have taken a little bit longer to develop and keep together. And so, those things take time. Nebraska, fortunately enough, they've switched up lineups. Even when they've played some of the other opponents, the less formidable opponents, DBK's actually switched up starting lineups to where you're getting players like Skylar Pierce in there. And it's been really interesting to see the little nuances and the differences of how DBK runs the program, runs substitutions, runs starting lineups in comparison to what we've seen over the last, decade plus with John Cook. It's a little bit different. There's not one right way to go about it, obviously, because Nebraska's 10-0 undefeated, and they'll be number 1 later today when the rankings come out, which we just expect it. We just expect Nebraska to be near or at the top of the rankings week after week. And we just have to continue talking about it so we don't take it for granted.
Absolutely. And Nick, what a great problem to have if you're DBK, in that your biggest issue is like who you're going to play, who's going to get more time, because you're not going to drop off anywhere. So that's a great situation to be in.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest storyline or question mark this entire year has been, the libero position. If it's going to be Olivia Malk or if it's going to be Lainey Choboy. We've seen Olivia kind of be the different color jersey the last couple of matches, and Lainey's working herself back to that defensive specialist role. It's like I just think that also the buy-in from the players, right? Like there's also something to be said about, when you have so many players of the top skill level that they have, it is hard to keep everybody happy. And who knows, maybe not everybody's 100% happy. However, they're all 100% bought in, right? Like we're not ever after a match questioning effort or if there is buy-in from the players. They're just here, right? And so it's really, really cool. And I was thinking about this yesterday in somewhat of a less exciting frame of mind. How good of a day could have Saturday been? Could Saturday have been if Nebraska would have taken care of business? And it shows just how much football drives the emotions in this state.
It would have changed a lot of things as far as an emotional standpoint. However, I want to preface this, though, because first of all, I want to know this. What did you do after the game on Saturday? Let us know. Text us in an ILO text line, 402-464-5685. What did you do after the Nebraska football game? Nick, I'm going to say this. First of all, yes, disappointing loss. You have 8 games left, so you learn the lesson, you move on. It's disappointing. It sucks. But I'm very careful, Nick, what I read online. I just kind of read it. I'm like,
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm done. Because, you would think that the season was done, the season was over, etc. I sure as hell hope they don't think that way, and I know they don't.
Yeah.
But again, that was a game to where we'll get into it more in depth from 9:30 on. Probably for the rest of the show at 10:30, we'll dive in to the weekend NFLs. Actually, college football schedule. There's 3 teams. Kind of just go over the schedule. We're going to discuss Nebraska football at 9:30. Initial thoughts. Go ahead, brother.
There's also something to be said. Well, first off, Mr. Blitzkrieg on the YouTube stream says I got obliterated.
Okay,
drunk wise. So that's one way to handle it.
All right.
Now the other part, Nate and Lincoln, win or lose, we booze. There you have it. A Big Ty says went home and watch better football. There's a lot to get into. I think there a lot of my approach to this, AD, is it's not. People understand. I'm a pretty big realist. I don't dive deep into the Kool-Aid or anything like that. And so when I say this, know that it's not me putting lipstick on a pig. It is essentially Nebraska could be in a far worse spot. That is what I will say. You look around. We could kind of transition this into less Nebraska specific and just look at the Big Ten Conference. How nice is it that Nebraska's not in a spot like Wisconsin right now? Wisconsin got whooped at home. Their entire section of their students was cheering Fire Fickle. We're same exact thing, a third of the way into the season. Now, if you're Wisconsin, I don't know if you guys have looked at seeing what their upcoming schedule is. They have a bye week this week, right? Just similar to Nebraska. So they have to sit and marinate in that Maryland home loss for 2 weeks, which is probably tougher to swallow than a Michigan home loss, in all honesty. But then Wisconsin now has to sit in that for 2 weeks. Then it's in no particular order. It is Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon. Oh no. So first off, they host or travel to Michigan. Wisconsin in 2 weeks goes to Michigan. Then they host Iowa. They host number 1 Ohio State, and then they travel to number 6 Oregon. Do you see them winning any of those games?
No. It's Iowa, Ohio. I take what you just said. It's Alabama. They've lost to Maryland. They got Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon at Oregon.
Well, and Michigan first. It's Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon.
Yes. And then after that, they got Washington.
Which I'm just looking at the next 4.
Okay, I'm going to go through the whole season real quick. At Indiana.
Yep.
Illinois, at Minnesota. Nick, it is not promising at all.
But my whole point is this: you think it's bad week 4 in the year if you're Wisconsin. You lost, obviously to Maryland over the weekend, but now you're 2-2 going into a bye week. What we appear, maybe you can beat Iowa at home. Probably not, though. Iowa just won on the road at Rutgers and was able to actually score 38 points. So let's just say best case scenario, Wisconsin after the next 4 games is 3-6 and 1-4 in the conference. Worst case scenario, they are 2-6. They'd be 3-5, excuse me. They are 2-6 and 0-5 in the Big Ten Conference. Like it is Nebraska. We're sitting here going, yeah, Michigan State, okay, then it's Michigan State. Maryland is going to be a tougher one than maybe we expected. And then obviously you have, Maryland, Minnesota's next after that, Northwestern. I mean, Nebraska doesn't have to play a ranked team in any of the next 4 games.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting in Wisconsin. It'll be interesting in Clemson. It's going to be interesting also in Florida, which we'll discuss. We'll get into at 10:30 because, as you mentioned, Nick, it's not good. Back here at home, Nebraska. This bye could not come at a better time. So we're going to discuss Nebraska in depth from 9:30 to 10. Nick, what'd you do after the game?
Post-game show.
And
then just hung out, watched football. I watched. It was nice. I texted you in somewhat of a sarcastic tone, but I meant it now. I mean, I truly did mean it. It was nice to have. It sucks for the players. It sucks for the coaches, but it was nice to have a 10 p.m. kickoff of a notable college football game.
And I tell you what, USC looked decent, and so did Michigan State. It's the bottom. I'm not saying it looked overpowering, but we got some guys ahead of us for sure, though, man. And USC and the Michigan State game. I watched that Florida Miami game, and after I got done with the game, went home, chilled. Ordered 50 wings from Wingstop, lemon pepper, destroyed a number of those. Some family was in town. They had never had Wingstop lemon pepper before. They were like, good gosh, these are good. What about my day, man? Like I said, Nebraska's got some work to do. And I would say the things that happened were things we probably weren't surprised about, things that we were hoping were not going to happen as much. They did happen. There were some things Nebraska did that I didn't expect either. But again, we're going to drive into this. Nick, if I would say in one word, in text line, in one word, before we go to break, we're going to discuss this one word to describe describes the game for you on Saturday. One word, and something that we can actually read over the air. What is one word for you, Nick?
Well, there's a lot that you could go with. Like this is very surface level, but disappointed. I mean, disappointed is the surface one. I don't know if. I suppose if you're looking at it as from a mission standpoint, like failure, you failed the mission. I have to control myself because I can't. Well, no, I mean, maybe I don't. I was going to say I don't want to become too harsh of a critic, but also if we're gonna be in this frame of mind, AD, where it's hey, now is the time, then yeah, maybe we have to be a little more harsh. Then maybe we have to be a little more. Straight to the point, and hey, this is what it is. I don't know. I was really disappointed in a couple of things on Saturday. I think that Nebraska missed out on a massive opportunity. Massive opportunity. You can still have a good recruiting weekend when you lose, and all the quotes and everything you hear is things are good, but man, it'd be nice to be 4-0 right now.
Byron the Hog Farmer says lines and tackles. Old Dad 34 says discussing. Bird in Columbus, good morning, says suck. Todd Husker Biker said expect it. Eric says missed opportunity. Big Ty says not surprised. Unknown texture 9148 says trenches. 5769 says embarrassing. Bill and Bennett says numb.
Yeah,
I would say
Jack on the YouTube stream says typical.
Here's the thing. Everybody looks at the same game, can have different interpretations. I think all of those are in play. Big B says unfazed. Unfortunately, we just need this. We just need the take their will shot and don't have it. The thing that for me, the word is, I would say disappointed. There was a lot of missed opportunities that we had out there. And I'm going to say this, and I love my university, always will, always will. And this is going to seem like something that's minor, Nick, but at the same time, get the dadgum red out of the end zone where it oversees the white line. I'm telling you from a wide receiver's perspective, okay, if you've played wide out before, regardless if you haven't, but if you play wide receiver, you're looking and glancing about half a second. You still have to have field awareness. Coach Brown would teach field awareness. Any coach is going to, like I said, DeKeel Schwartz is teaching the same thing, field awareness. When you're running that fast and you're taking a quick glance, you're seeing white and seeing red at the same time. My thing is, Nick, this might seem minor. Cut the white line, cut the red exactly where it's gone. Don't have the red over. I'm not saying that dictates the game, but it's so small things like that. And he's first of all, he's still got to have field awareness. The young man's got to have field awareness. But I'm simply saying is, well, at the same time, they do have lights on a runway too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To let you know exactly where it ends at, where it bleeds over To me, it's just mental. Those are small things, but those small things, those are things that can be changed immediately.
Well,
and like I said, it was a cosmetic thing. I get it. I get the purpose, to change things up.
Yeah.
But dadgummit, that was something that me and a bunch of other receivers from around the country and coach, and like I said, even some of my buddies who coached it said, he goes, man, I get the point, but they said those are minor things. But in situations like that, make it to where your guys have no doubt where it's at. Simple thing.
Yeah, there's just mental lapses there. Next segment, I don't want to talk about it here. Next segment, though, there was one quote that was specifically said by Biff Poggi, the acting head coach for Michigan, that really rubbed me the wrong way. And it was indicative of Nebraska, and it was also something that we heard Chase Winovich say years ago, back in, I think it was 2018. Maybe, yeah, I believe it was 2018 when Nebraska went there. That it went straight to the physicality or lack thereof of Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, that can be something you coach, I suppose. At some point, I think a lot of this one goes on the players, though. A lot of this one. You look at a lot of just the mental errors that happened. I can guarantee you Mike Eckler's not coaching Ja'Cory Barney to field the punt at the 2.
Nope.
I can guarantee you that Da'Keel Shorts, to that point, Da'Keel Shorts isn't running that route.
Mm-mm.
At the end of the day, you're getting paid 6 figures to go catch a pass. You need to take care of your business. And also, it's not like it's your first day practicing or catching passes in the end zone at Memorial Stadium.
Got to know where you're at.
And then at some point in the middle of a game, you got to have a gut check and look in the mirror and say, we're tired of getting pushed around, even if you are the smallest guy. Like I was impressed by the way that Matt Rule handled this loss. It's not good because, once again, the record speaks for itself for Matt Rule and for Nebraska against top 25 teams. But a lot of this, I think, does go on the lack of execution on the field.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really frustrating to see, I think.
Yeah, they've if I'm a player, and obviously it's, we're not, but at the same time, you have to look at that tape as they looked at it yesterday morning and be like, you know what? We got pushed around. There's no other way to look at it. And to say anything different, we looked at a different game. They got pushed around on both sides of the ball. Did they have bright spots? Absolutely they did. But to me, that was a barometer. That was a progress report to show them how much further you have to go. Now, they made progress. Yeah, they made progress. We'd be naive to say they haven't. But to be in the top echelon of the conversation, not in the nation, just in our own conference, you see where you got some work to do, because they were pushed around on both sides of the ball. And we joke about it with Jordan, and I took that personal. Whether they take it personal or not, Nick, we'll find out. We'll find out. Folks, when we come back, we're going to discuss this game and break it down between the numbers. Hear the quote from Coach P. Poggi. I like what he said after the game. You're going to have some coffee, a Cuban cigar. Yeah, what he said? Ice cream is what he said. Ice cream, a Cuban cigar, and hang out with his wife. We'll discuss it all when we come back. It's Monday. It's The Drive.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at HuskerFanTravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com. Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Tune in every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. for the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Sit back and enjoy listening to Dr. Chatters discuss real stories involving struggle, inspiration, and real-life experiences with special guests and insights. Remember, the higher the pressure, the greater the lift. It's the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, we're back on this magnificent Monday. Come on down to 1040 O Street. Get yourself some hot coffee, cold coffee, or hot or cold beverage of your choice. They have pastries, breakfast burritos, sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits, and a plethora of other goodies in the freezer. They got it made in there. We always got to let you know how we keep this segment going. That is by Jack Russell, our buddy at Farm Bureau Financial Services. And Jack has been a well-respected representative since 1999. Can help protect your home, your family, your vehicle, even your future. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100 or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or in Seward and learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you. Jack's got his son get married Saturday, man.
Oh, nice. Congrats to Jack's son.
Absolutely. Congrats to the whole Russell family. Be up in Omaha, so it'll be good to go see them tie the knot on Saturday. Next Saturday's game, we all know we've talked about this a lot. We're going to get into it even more. Everybody's got their emotions of where it went and how it should have went, etc. But it was more than a game. The 37-20 loss to Michigan. It was a progress report card, in my opinion. It was a barometer and a wake-up call, in my opinion, because the rest of their Big Ten schedule is not getting any easier. Nick, we watched 2 of their future opponents, Michigan State, who they will host here in 2 weeks. Then they will have USC down the road. Rilo throws for 300. Barney Jr. shined. We see that. There were some of the bright spots. Huskers fought to the end, but the 7 sacks with a loss of 49 yards, missed chances. That streak is still alive, unfortunately. Nick, is this real progress that you've seen on Saturday? Was it a warning of what's ahead? Folks, let's discuss it. Let us know on our text line as well, 424-645-5680. Mess it up.
I think that when you look at Nebraska, it's incredibly disappointed. I want to play this quote from Biff Poggi, the acting head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. And this is what he told the guys at halftime.
At halftime, I called him up before we went on the field, and I told him, I said, I know it's 17-17, but physically we're beating the snot out of them. And we're turning this into a heavyweight fight. And that's going to be to our big advantage in the second half. And I think it was. But physically, we're beating the snot out of them.
There you go. It's hard to disagree with Biff Poggi. When you look at Michigan in the second half here, Michigan 196 total yards, 132 of those came on the ground. Nebraska in the second half, 0 rushing yards as a team on 9 attempts. Nebraska in the second half as a whole had 98 yards rushing, and all those came through the air. This is where I want to start, AD. As much as Nebraska left points on the field, in all seriousness, as many points, right? The missed field goal is 3. The turnover on downs on the first drive of the game, even on the low side, is 3, right? I liked the call to go for it on 4th and goal or 4th and 1 from the 5. I liked that in the stage of the game. You were driving the ball well. You felt like, okay, this is a spot for us to really assert our dominance and show that you're physical. I wasn't a big fan of the shovel call, but it's fine. So there's on the low end 6 points that you left on the field. Then, later in the game, you left a touchdown on the field as well. There's 13 points. That ball game is, potentially a 40-30 finish in Nebraska's favor. On the flip side, though, you can't count on a Hail Mary every time. So that takes away 7 points. A garbage time touchdown, that takes away 14 points. This was very, very close to being a 3-score loss as well. Just as much as it could have been a 2-score win, it very well could have been a 3-score loss for Nebraska. Michigan did a lot of things well, but I think it's important to also be realistic about Nebraska. The scoreboard It was a 3-point difference, but man, that scoreboard is a lot closer than what it felt like.
You know, Nick, that is true. But at the same time, they did score. They did make
Sure,
1 and 3.
Sure.
And there were missed opportunities because we say Michigan missed 2 as well. They had one wide open in the end zone, kind of galvanizes your point. But they had one where the guy overshot him.
Absolutely.
In the end zone. But to your point, though, the score was not as close as the physicality difference in the game. I heard a lot, just even from my relatives around, and different people, just like, our conversations, etc. This team was shown where they have to go. Now, is this one of the better Michigan? No, of course they won the national championship 2 years ago. There's still a lot of guys on that roster that were part of that national championship team that are big, that are physical, that are seasoned, that have war scars in trenches, and we lost the game in trenches. So Nebraska, I mean, and you know what, Nick, I'm gonna tell you, when you think about this, Nick, if someone is just brutally beating you up over and over again, you got to come back and say, you know what? I've got some growing up to do. I've got to really check myself and check my heart, check everything that I'm doing, because this week and the next 2 weeks, like I said, when Nebraska goes against another physical Michigan State, we saw that against USC, they're going to have to decide who they are and who they want to be. It comes, and to me, now the coaches can coach all they want. At the end of the day, Nick, it's got to come down to players saying, I'm tired of getting pushed around. It's got to come down to that and playing disciplined ball. There's some that were talking about, well, this coach needs to go, this coach needs to go. I don't think you gauge a coach 4 games into the season based off one of the better teams in the conference. To me, that's a good check. Now, if this continues to happen, then there's conversation you have to have. But I'm not for one to say we need to get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy. When you gauge it against one of the top teams in your conference, as far as that goes.
Yeah, maybe, but AD, it also has continued to happen.
But I'm saying under a coordinator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think, there were some people that were saying, well, this guy needs to go, this guy needs to go. I think you got to look at a body of work, and you don't gauge it 4 games into the season. What's happening, man? You don't, like you could hear me walking by. You don't gauge it by 1 game and one of the better games, because at least I know how far stuff is good. Now, if this continues to happen, this season, I'm not talking about in 2 years, but this season, then I think you start to revisit and have some conversations. But I think all of that stuff is premature. It's early to do that, in my opinion. You start seeing you're getting very, very, very liquid and desperate waters when you start doing that 4 games in with both coordinators in their first full season, as far as that goes.
I don't know if I didn't hear anybody calling for Dana Holgorsen. I heard a lot of people calling John Butler. If you're calling for Dana Holgorsen, that's just bizarre.
I was shocked.
That's very bizarre. Not even worried about giving that the light of day. I think that with John Butler, though, I think there's questions. And I think there has been questions just overall. This is my big thing. I think in this segment, we can talk about it from a big picture organizational viewpoint. Is look at the two sides. Michigan has to, rebuild their offensive line that's been very, very talented the last couple of years. They did so through the transfer portal. They also lost a couple through the transfer portal, a couple of starters, one that was visiting Nebraska, and then the asking price was too high, and so Nebraska moved on from them. But I think this is the difference maker on Saturday was the guys that you've brought in to make plays. Did they make plays? And this is going to call guys out, but you know what? I think at some point you have to have some accountability. First, let's start with Michigan, right? Michigan brings in Justice Haynes from the transfer portal at the running back position, and now every single game this year, he's ran for over 100 yards, and he is leading the Big Ten Conference in rushing statistics. So you're talking about an all-conference caliber back. And you identified as that was a guy that you could bring in and he would do well. And then on the flip side, on the defensive side, they go out and they bring in Jayshon Barham from Maryland. Wink Martindale, give him credit, encourages him to move from inside linebacker to outside, and he's completely elevated his game. So there's your 2 players there that were a big difference maker for Michigan. And then the poise of Bryce Underwood to be able to lead a 16 or a 15 play offensively, 16 plays if you want to count the field goal attempt in the later stages of the fourth quarter that took off almost 9 minutes of game time, 15 plays, 70 yards that resulted in extending Michigan's lead. The ability to lead that drive on the road in a Big Ten environment like Nebraska is impressive for a true freshman, for any quarterback as well. Then we look at Nebraska. Nebraska goes and they bring in Elijah Pritchett at left tackle. They bring in Rocco Spindler. in the offensive line, and there were multiple spots in the game on Saturday, to where, you know what? Nebraska's offensive line consistently got bullied. They tried things where they brought Emmett Johnson to try to chip guys. They would but then they would go empty shotgun set, and Dylan would have to get rid of the ball in the blink of an eye. Nebraska's offensive line got whooped on Saturday. That's a spot to where Nebraska financially invested in, and it hasn't worked out this season. Then looking at the defensive front, because we have a lot of people, and I agree with them, and I agree with you, AD, to where the trenches are key, right? Trenches are key. You chose to go out and bring Keona Davis back in from the transfer portal. Where was he at on Saturday? Right, Riley Van Poppel, you chose to redshirt him last year because he needed for whatever reason, nowhere to be seen on Saturday. Elijah Judy's big play was in the forced fumble to Bryce Underwood. There were a lot of guys that Nebraska specifically identified in the portal to come in and be skill position guys or to be difference makers, whether it's up front or at the skill positions. And they just didn't make plays.
Deshaun McCullough made some great plays. He missed that tackle too. And when he talked about in the press, he goes, I can't believe I missed that kid. I thought he played a decent game as far as that goes. But Nick, like you mentioned, we didn't see enough disruption by the interior line, and sure as heck not from the offensive line giving up 7 sacks.
I would also say by the wide receivers, I struggle to really, I don't want to say count the Hail Mary, but I struggle to really say, yeah, you know what? Let's look at that as a positive spot. I understand that it happened. I get that.
But you can't eat off that.
But here's why. Here's why I say that. So Ja'Cory Barney, if you take away the 52-yard pass, he has 5 catches for 60 yards. If you take away, and so with that, Dane Key, 36 yards. Isaiah Hunter, 34 yards. I mean, these are guys that you've brought in.
But wouldn't you say, Nick, too, a lot has to do with the lack of offensive line blocking? I mean, he didn't have a lot. Because I see those numbers, but I think those are somewhat skewed in that when you're running all over the field for your life half the time, to me, this comes down to, now granted, there's some that comes on them. I think this more of as a timing thing. The offensive line got absolutely bludgeoned on Saturday. And when you're a quarterback, now some people will say, well, Dylan should have got rid of it, should have run more. I get all that. But we're still talking about, if he has to run more, we're talking about a collapsed line. If we're saying he should have got rid of it faster, we're talking about a collapsed line. Everything starts from the O-line. If the quarterback is pushed out of system, it begins and ends with the offensive line. And they got absolutely bullied all day Saturday. There's no other explanation for that. Yes, receivers could have made more plays, maybe crisper routes. But when your quarterback running in desperation to the left or right, your routes get broken off. At that point, you're playing the scramble drill. Those receivers played scramble drill, Nick, 70% of the time, if not more, on Saturday. So everything gets broken out of system when your quarterback is out of system, and that clock in his head, right, wrong, or indifferent, it's going a lot faster. Because you know what? Last time I got my head smashed in from the left. The second time before that was from the right. Then I got hit straight in the chin. So everything was off system for Nebraska, but it starts with the offensive line.
And I guess to that point, you need to be able to run the ball.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I just think that there's more to it than just offensive line.
Offensively,
teams have won games with bad offensive lines. This is Nebraska.
I'll say this, not many.
Nebraska offensive line issues transcend Matt Rule. They predate Matt Rule. They predate
Absolutely.
Scott Frost. At some point, I think you just need dudes to make plays. You have to make plays. And I understand, once again, you can blame a lot of the blame is on the offensive line. And you actually, in fairness, you guys are kind of making my point as to where Nebraska identified offensive line. They went out and spent big money on the offensive line. That's my point.
And that's what's so disappointing.
Is everybody that's on the text line going, no, it's all on our line. And AD, everybody's just making my point to where I'm saying that Nebraska identified 2 spots on the offensive line to where they needed to significantly financially invest in spots.
You know what, Nick?
And those guys have not panned out. And the offensive line is not anywhere better than where it was.
I think it goes back to your point 2 months ago when you talked about all of the tasks of a GM. identifying talent, how you can't miss at times. It's going to cost you. I'm not throwing these guys in the bus saying the season's over, but Nick, we were shown by the top echelon of our conference, and this team is in the top 25. I don't know what they're ranked today because I haven't looked at the ratings of Michigan yet, but it shows you how far we are away. And Nick, based on that game, I'm not saying the season, but based on that game, to your point, we're a long ways off from the offensive line. They were overpowered, mismatched, and beat up all day. So galvanize your point. I mean, it was hard to watch. And number one, Jasharian Barham, number one, their linebacker, he did whatever he wanted to do regardless of what side he lined up on. I mean, both tackles were just absolutely brutalized all afternoon. It was tough to watch, man. It was tough to watch. Folks, when we come back, we're going to have history, and we're going to discuss some more Nebraska football. We'll get between the numbers, etc. This bye week cannot come at a better time for them because, as we said, they got another team from Michigan that's coming up from Lansing that is going to be obviously not as deep, but just as physical as well. We'll be back. It's a drive.
Nebraska Lottery.
Do you have a new lotto game called Nebraska Pick 4?
Yes, sir. It costs just $1 to play. There's a $6,000 top prize with drawings every day, and you can choose from 6 different bet types.
Kind of like Nebraska Pick 3 with a bigger jackpot and more bet options?
Yes, sir. Any other questions I can answer?
Yeah, I misplaced my phone. Do you know where it is?
You're using it.
Ah, so I am. You lottery people know everything.
Straight bet top prize odds 1 in 10,000.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning, some showers and storms possible late. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with a high near 86. Tonight, showers and storms likely, below around 64. And tomorrow, a continued chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high around 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com.
Hey, Husker fans, Max 10 is turning up the excitement this season. They're giving away a pair of Husker volleyball tickets, and every time you tan, you're entered to win. Experience the 2025 season tour featuring high-pressure tanning, rejuvenating red light therapy, and flawless spray tanning, all for just $20.25. Look good, feel amazing, and cheer on the Lady Huskers in style. Max Tan, take it to the max.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Farmers know it all starts with the soil. At Carbon Connections, they're helping you unlock its full potential. Their high-quality humic acid improves nutrient uptake, boosts root development, and enhances soil structure, so your crops get more from every acre. But it doesn't stop there. With a full lineup of crop protection products, they help you reduce synthetic inputs while protecting yields and profits. Smarter inputs, healthier soils, better returns. It's time to grow more naturally. Visit Carbon Connections on Facebook or call them today at 402-947-1476 to learn how they can help your farm thrive. Carbon Connections, unlocking your potential.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through September 28th, enjoy an 8-ounce USDA Choice New York strip for $7.98 each. All natural whole pork butt, $1.78 per pound. Boar's Head Deli Turkey, all varieties, $11.99 per pound. And Bush Light 30 racks for $18.99. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back. Quick history segment before we dive back into the between the nines, the numbers of Nebraska's 30-27 loss against Michigan on Saturday. History segment, 1990. Nick, I was a sophomore in high school in 1990.
Okay. It's a long time ago.
Choose your words very carefully.
I just said it was a long time ago.
You just kind of looked out the window like that was like fossil times or something.
Did you guys have electricity back then?
We had electricity. We had street dances. We had no internet, though.
Honestly, sounds like a great time to be alive.
You know what, dude? It was. We had Atari. Real quick about not having the modern day technology. And Nick, again, thank Nick again for coordinating everything with the Arbor Day Farms out there. So I was heading out there on Friday. I took my phone and I got a new iPhone, upgraded, and left it in there so they can, everything to transfer over. And Nick. And the folks that are older remember the days when you changed phones. It was like a couple hour experience, if not all day. If you went to the Cellular One place or the one on O Street, whatever it was. Well, I left mine there. It goes about 40 minutes. I said, cool. So I went there right after the show, went home. Dropped it off at the place by South Point, and went home at 8 and got ready to go for our show. Left Lincoln. About 20 minutes down the road, I'm just kind of listening to the guys on the ticket. Next thing I know, I'm reaching for my phone to text you. I'm thinking, where's my phone? I'm looking all over the side. I'm like, I did not pick up my dang phone. But you know how peaceful that first 20 minutes was?
I'm sure it was very peaceful.
But then I had to double back and go all the way back to South Point and pick up my phone, but got out there. But it is something to be said, Nick, where you look at old pictures back pre-cell phone days, to where people actually had conversations. People talked at get-togethers. I'm not saying they don't now, but it's just less. But 1990, Nebraska, we dominated the Minnesota Gophers on both sides of the ball. And a man you may not have heard of in a long time, George Ochoa, rushed for 100 yards, and so did Derek Brown. Both of those guys rushed for 100 yards. George is an attorney up in Omaha now, Creighton Prep grad as well, but beat Minnesota in 1990, 56-0 Husker history. What you got, brother?
How about this one? I have a very special birthday today to Charlie Cologne.
It is his birthday.
Charlie Cologne's birthday is today. Former Husker baseballer, but now owner of South Point Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible
Solid
guy.
earth.
Charlie Cologne. Happy birthday to Charlie.
Charlie, so. I sent him a happy birthday very early this morning. There was a number of birthdays, but Coach, I can't call him Coach. Well, he is a coach, there at Chick-fil-A. And I'm going to tell you, those folks are always, everything is my pleasure. You're talking about coaching a team up. You know what, Nick? Also, I wanted to give a birthday shout out, man. Nebraska former running back Corey Ross, pork chop.
Nice.
His little brother's birthday today. So Corey Ross, happy birthday to you. Dude, when I looked at his birthday, I knew I was about 8 or 9. Corey is 43 years old.
Wow.
It does not seem that Corey Ross is 43 because I still look at Corey like little pork chop. That now he hits the ball, Nick. You ask Raph, an insane amount of distance. And he's got a short game too, so he is lethal on the golf course. So happy birthday to Corey Ross and Charlie Cologne.
Before we get to break, the EV Ride and Drive is happening this Sunday, and you are invited. Join Lincoln Electric System on September 28th from 9 to 1 at the LES Operations Center, 9445 Rokeby Road, to test drive electric vehicles and talk with local EV owners and dealers. The event is free, it's fun, and full of discovery. So whether you're ready to make the switch to an EV or you just want to learn more, this event is for you. Visit les.com/drive for details.
And just a reminder, LES is not located in our building
We are
anymore.
not. Yeah, we are not LES.
We had
anymore.
somebody, I guess, not too long ago came in here to try to pay their bill, and it was kind of like, this
Yeah.
hasn't been a place to pay your bill in a
We'll-
long
we'll
time.
take your money.
Yeah. But I was wondering why, Nick, you were taking his check.
Yeah.
You was like, I'll take care of that.
Yep.
Nick, that was unfortunate. You took advantage of an elderly person.
That's how I paid my electric bill. Had a little extra spare.
Folks, we'll be back, and we'll go between the numbers with Nebraska's game on Saturday versus Michigan. We won't talk about Nick's deceptive practices. It's the Drive.
Come pay your electric bill.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through September 28th, enjoy an 8-ounce USDA Choice New York strip for $7.98 each. All natural whole pork butt, $1.78 per pound. Boar's Head deli turkey, all varieties, $11.99 per pound. And Bush Light 30 racks for $18.99. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go.
Second half today. You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of B.J. Bradford up the floor to Jack Ostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we're back on this magnificent Monday. A welcome and much needed bye week to the Nebraska football team.
Can I say something important here?
Yes, you can, my brother.
It is time. Now listen very closely, folks. It is time for the Cash Blitz $1,000 cash contest keyword. Text it to 508-777-1000, or you can head to our website and click on Cash Blitz to enter. I'll give you a second to pull out your phone or open the site. Once again, it's 508-777-1000. You text that number, or you can head to our website and click on Cash Blitz to enter. All right, today's keyword is card. That's spelled C-A-R-D. Remember, every keyword you enter is another chance to win. One lucky listener will take home $1,000 tomorrow around noon. Don't wait. Get that keyword in now. Once again, today's keyword is card. That's spelled C-A-R-D. There you go. That's it.
Watch you end up winning somehow. You'll finagle your win.
I will not. I will not. I take it, though. Donations.
Donations.
NIL. NIL for the drive. We did. I do have to shout out some super fan on the and I say a super fan because they donated on the post game show. Jay and I didn't even tell Jay. Jay and I were in the middle of the post game show, and a comment came across the screen. Somebody donated $20 just for them to type in "Go Blue." So a Michigan fan came into the live stream on Saturday for the post game show and paid $20 for his comment to be shown at the top of "Go Blue."
Oh wow!
A Michigan fan, AD.
Okay. $20.
$20. Michigan fan. Drowning in the NIL. I will say this. Okay, here's. I know we're going to get into the numbers, and we've talked ad nauseum about the numbers, but here's where I will say, AD. I think, not putting lipstick on a pig, there is a world to where Michigan's a pretty good football team. Like I think that there's something to be said. Oklahoma has continuously won. They have Oklahoma that has a really good quarterback, right? And Michigan was fine in that game. But there's a chance that Michigan is a really good team. There were a lot of dropped passes on Saturday as well. I can't shake the fact that, you know what? If you're a transfer wide receiver at the end of this year, why is Michigan not an attractive landing spot for you? I mean, goodness sakes. That is one thing that's missing from Michigan. Maybe the offensive coaching needs to be a little bit better, but Wink Martindale defensively is legit. And now you have Bryce Underwood at quarterback. There's a chance that if Michigan gets a couple of transfer wide receivers in the next couple of years, they'll be a dangerous team in the country.
If they get one that's ready, plug and play for next year, they're going to be something to contend with. Like you mentioned, they got Wisconsin October 4th, USC after that at USC. They got Washington at home, Michigan State at Michigan State, Purdue home, Northwestern at Northwestern, Maryland. Then their big game, of course, against the team up north is the team south, what they call it, Ohio State. So it's going to be interesting for there. But to your point, Nick, I think that Michigan's a good football team. Are they the team they were in past? But I tell you what, that is a dang good football team there. And it shows how far we have to go as far as that goes. And we've got work to do all the way around, from offensive line to quarterback to defense. And it's just overall, So appreciate Derek in the car says, great discussion, guys. I'm trying to get as I possibly can, as Nick possibly can as well. Does Kunana miss that first field goal attempt if he had a chip shot under his belt from our first drive? One could argue that his confidence and aim would be better. Rule an NFL coach ignored his own instincts when he decided to go for it. The playbook says take the points, right? Nick, me personally, thanks, Derek in the car. Me personally, I'm always going for the points. I'm going for the points. I can understand the line of thinking. It's like if we've driven the ball down this far, we're home, the crowd's going crazy. But me, Nick, I'm taking the freaking points. Always get points, especially a team like Michigan. But I'm just sorry. I'm not going to be talked off of that. I'm not going to negotiate. I'm not going to compromise. You always get points. And it obviously depends on the type, like I said, where you're at in the game. If you have to score, you have to score. For instance, I get that. Where if you don't, but early in the game, first quarter, first drive, kick the field goal.
AD, what's your reaction if Nebraska scores a touchdown on that play?
It's irrelevant.
No, it is. It's relevant.
Because they didn't.
Well, yeah, hindsight's 2020. We're going to sit here and take the points.
I still would have said, great, but I wouldn't.
You wouldn't have sat here and said, hey, you know what? I like the aggressive call.
I would have said, I'm glad they got it.
This is where.
Why do you shake your head like that in frustration? Because I have a different opinion of yours. You don't understand.
Well, that's not it at all.
I'm simply saying I would take the point. Hell yeah, I'd be glad if they scored.
Yeah, I'm
simply saying you take the points.
I don't know if in response to that text, does Kananen's confidence get shot down by choosing not to kick a field goal from 20 or 32 yards out, or no, it'd be 22 yards out.
I'm unsure of that, but I'm saying at the point we had it 4th and 2, kick at the 4 yard line, whatever it was, 5.
I get that.
Kick the field goal, get the points.
I would also add though that Nebraska had been getting quite the push up front the entire drive. Like that, we have to also remember that the first drives of games are scripted, and you could see it for Nebraska's sake, to where they were pushing Michigan around on that first drive. They came out strong on that first drive. I looked at it as Nebraska needs, there's got to be, like, I was surprised by the play call. I wasn't surprised by the decision to go for it.
That too.
I was surprised and a little disappointed by the actual play call because that is something to where Nebraska has had so many troubles and so many issues scoring and being able to move the pile within the 10. I would have said, okay, where are your best skill position players?
Right.
Where get it in the hands of them, whether that's Emmett Johnson,
Totally
whether that
agree
is
with you on
Dane
that.
Key, whether that's an Isaiah Hunter or Ja'Cory Barney. That is why they're there. And that goes back to my point, I think, of they have to get the ball at some point into the hands of their playmakers. And guys just need to go make plays. And Nebraska's up front, and I guess you could say it, their offensive line didn't make a play there. Like, they didn't make a play. I think hindsight's always going to be 2020. Yeah, we could have gotten the points. I liked the decision to go for it. I did not like the play call of the shovel.
Yeah, that was a
because it takes the ball out of the hands of one of your best players offensively, and Dylan Raiola.
Yeah, that was a head scratcher to make the play selection. That was a head scratcher there for sure. Would it have? Yeah. That I was more baffled almost by the play call than going for it in the beginning. I was saying, okay, put it in Emmett's hands, put it anybody's hands, but you don't get not knocking Luke. I think it was Luke Lindenmeyer who had like the little shuffle, whatever it was.
Yeah,
and not knocking him, but it's like, okay, that's the guy who went out in space a little bit, off a flat.
And that's where, like, we saw it in the first game of the year. Nebraska did the same exact thing against Cincinnati, to where they utilized Ja'Cory Barney, Janiran Bonner.
Right.
That's the spot where they have Janiran Bonner usually make a play, but he can't.
Right.
Here, first off, Eric, he says, oh, so Nick thinks he can call play for the Huskers now. That's not what I'm getting at all. Unnamed texter says, I agree with AD 100%. You take the points. You're not playing a no-name. Take the points when you can get them. But that's, once again, though, to push back on that, it's their T-shirts. Their motto this week was Operation Faceless Nameless Opponent. So which one is it? Like,
you know what that is? That's a T-shirt slogan.
It is. It absolutely is. So then,
when it's on the field, take the dang points.
And yes. So I just wonder. It is what it is. We can go back and criticize every single point of that game. Nebraska. I mean, Kyle Kanana should have hit the 44-yard field goal.
He's
right?
Hit those.
You have another guy. I mean, just to see the dramatic difference. The other guy for Michigan, their kicker, has hit 8 of 8 from beyond 50 yards in his 2 years at Michigan.
And he hit that one field goal from Belmont.
From 56 yards. From 56 yards.
Belmont. He nailed it. But and to your point, Nick, regardless of what happened on that one, you got to make those. And Nick, you look at all those little things in the game that cost us. Just, little things against a team to where your margin of error is almost nil. The little things cost us. The play call here, decision there. As McCullough mentioned, he goes, I had him in my grasp. I missed it, and he takes it to the house. Nick, you're talking about little things, which were huge things. These numbers right here, as we get into them, 75, 54, 37. 75-yard run by Justin Haynes, who ended up with 17 for 153. Jordan Marshall, Nick, who we talked about earlier in this week, saying his backup is dangerous as well. His 54-yard run. Then, of course, the one where Bryce Underwood, we were the middle open like the Red Sea, and he went untouched, basically, an end zone. 75, 54, 37, 3 plays. And it was more than just 3 plays. We know that because of what led to those. You think about that last drive, Nick, where it was 3rd and like 12, then it was 3rd and like 9, then it was 3rd and like 5, and they got it every time. And so those little things, though, they cost you against a team like a Michigan.
I'm reading a lot of the reaction from the text line on that first drive, and it's okay that none of us are gonna. I mean, not none of us. A lot of us are not gonna agree on this.
Make great radio.
So it says, unnamed texter says, Nick, you got to understand, if you kick the chip shot field goal to go up 3, that settles the kicker in, and maybe he makes the 44-yard field goal later, and we're up 3 in the fourth quarter if everything were to play out the same. I also look at it this way. Jeremy in Lincoln says, how about with a fade call on second down of that drive? If we know we are going for it on 4th, why not run the ball 3 times or run the shovel on that play? Our fade plays are a wasted play over half the time. That's where I will agree with Jeremy and Lincoln. So I have the drive pulled up. Nebraska, they started out 14-yard gain from Emmett on the first play on that little trap handoff up the far sideline. Then they go incomplete pass to Emmett Johnson. Then it's pass for 23 yards to Luke Lindenmeyer on the play that Dillon rolls out to his left, and Lindenmeyer just kind of pops out up the seam, and Michigan lost him for 23 yards. Then Mekhi Nelson comes in and rushes for a first down on 1st and 10 for 11-yard gain. Then it's an incomplete pass. Then it's fast forward to when they are on the 14-yard line, 1st and 10 from the 14. Ja'Cory Barney does the end-around handoff from the shotgun, gain of 7 yards to the Michigan 7, gets pushed out of bounds. Then, to Jeremy in Lincoln's point, they run the fade to Ja'Cory Barney on the near side of the end zone. This is where I knew that they were going to go for it, is on 3rd down when they ran it up the middle with Emmett Johnson. If they get the first down, great. If they don't, there's a play call that they have that they feel confident in on 4th down that they've probably already predetermined.
Right.
Hey, if we get it 4th and short and we're on the plus side of the 50 or plus side of the 35-yard line, we're going to go for it. And this is the call we're going to use. That's where I'm saying it's not as much for me about the decision to go for it. It's the decision of what play to run. I was surprised because it takes the ball out of the hands of your best player on offense in names of Dylan Raiola, right? And some would say, you know what? At some point, maybe you want a little bit of a running threat back there at quarterback too. I get hindsight's 2020. Would love to go up 3-0, but then on the flip side, the defense also did their job and they forced a 3-and-out on that next possession too. So yeah, Nebraska, could have gotten off the field and gotten 3 points, but ultimately there were a lot of things in this game where you could point to it drive by drive and go, yeah, that was a real head scratcher.
Nick, here are some points that you and I discussed on Thursday and Friday. There's 5 of them. Win the line of scrimmage and early downs. Utilize the passing game effectively. Turnover margin in situational football. Exploit crowd and home field. I think we were okay with that. We were definitely good with that. Balanced attack and keeping Underwood off the field. Now, we kept them off the field because they scored so fast. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the time of possession, people, if you didn't know the score, you would see the time of possession, but like, well, the team that had the ball that long should have probably won the game. Well, when you score as fast as what they did on that 75, 54, and 32-yard run, it's going to be misgiving as far as that goes. Nick, I look at this game, man. I just want to get your take. Text line, keep them coming in. We're going to try to get to most of these as much as we can. We're trying the best we can. Here are some of the, I would say, the cons of the game, need improvement. Nick, run defense and big plays allowed. They killed us, man. The big play absolutely killed us. And were you more disappointed with, I don't want to say this. Were you more disappointed with the lack, and I actually both go hand in hand, the lack of gap integrity or the missed tackles?
Well, I think missed tackles. There were a lot of instances, right? Like on the 75-yard one to Justice Haynes that was allowed. A lot of people are going to blame Marquise Buford, which, yeah, right. He should have made the tackle in a one-on-one situation. Should have been able to try to trip him up, did not, and realized that he had help outside. And instead of moving outside, allow Justice Haynes then to go inside, back up the middle if you slow things down. It all started defensively on that play by a decision by Vincent Shavers as well. That kind of set up the entire hole, but nobody's talked about that as well. So there's a lot more than this is where I will caution Husker fans as we watch the game and you watch replays. It's not a lot of plays are a result of little minor decisions made throughout the course of a play to where, yeah, Marquise Buford should have made the one-on-one tackle or should have been able to trip him up or something, right? But then there's also something to be said about the decision to go in where you try to provide pressure up the middle from Vincent Shavers. If he goes left instead of going right, if he goes right instead of going left, like if you slow down those minute details, you realize that there's a lot that goes into it rather than just, hey, Marquise Buford needs to make the tackle, which, by the way, Marquise was benched after that play. Like he was benched after that play. He missed the tackle and the staff took him out for the next drive. Like, so the repercussions are there. But when you look at it for Nebraska, there's a lot of missed tackles. I thought Michigan did a very good job of wrapping up. And
gang tackling as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Nebraska, like that's the other thing is like Nebraska got a turnover when they needed one, They were down 10-0 and they forced a fumble. Like it just did not fall in the way of the Huskers.
Other areas need improvement, Nick. Pass protection and pressure. We all know, I mean, it's no secrets. Riley was sacked 7 times for loss of 49 yards. Nick, their twists and their stunts gave us trouble all afternoon. There were times to where I literally saw at least 3 times where we were an offensive line guy was looking for somebody to block because the twists and stunts and guys were confused. And the guy that he was supposed to be blocking was basically having a barbecue with Dylan in the backfield.
Yeah. There's just a lot. I would have loved to be on a fly on the wall when in the offensive film study yesterday for Nebraska to see and hear what the coaches truly said behind closed doors about the offensive line, about the things that Michigan did. Conversely, when we talk about Nebraska's defense, I just don't know, AD. People get all wrapped up in like the 3 down front and the 3-3-5 and things like that. I just don't know if Nebraska can compete or this season without having 4 down linemen consistently. I just don't. I think Saturday was quite apparent. I'm not saying you have to change your entire scheme, but Nebraska, man, they could not get pressure.
No.
They just couldn't. And they could not get Justice Haynes in the backfield. And maybe part of it is the quarterback run element that was a possibility on Saturday. And I'm sure that's something that Matt Rule will talk about this week. But Nebraska just could not get pressure. And I think, part of it is maybe they felt like, okay, you know what? We did 3 down linemen last year. And you rush, you have a 4th guy up on the line. I get that. And it's looks and it's personnel and stuff. But Nebraska just isn't as physical and they're not as dominant as they were last year.
Nick, I definitely agree with you on that because here's the reality. Even toss last year out of it. Look at Cincinnati. We didn't get pressure on them.
Yeah.
And we didn't, and if we didn't get it on them, we didn't get it on, like I said, on Michigan. It came from the edges. There was nothing interior-wise that phased Underwood whatsoever. It came from the edges. And to your point, like I said, I'm not saying you throw the baby out with the bathwater, but I think there's got to be – I'm no defensive guru. That's Jay for him. But I tell you what, I think I've watched football long enough to know that, either you got the personnel to run this defense or not. And again, I'm not saying you change everything, but I think, Nick, to your point, you got to add some more beef in that interior line, man. And also because they're so young too, man. I mean, you got to when you're missing that much, put some more bodies in there. It's not a pride thing. It's like what's the best for us going forward.
Yeah, I think it's finding what is best for Nebraska's front 4 or front 6 in this case with the 3-3. Like everybody's going to throw out the numbers of like 4-2-5. Nebraska needs to go into a 4-3. Nebraska needs to go to this. I'm not saying you have to change your entire scheme. What I am getting at though is this is when we find out going into Michigan State how good of a defensive coordinator John Butler is. Like this is the one that I think we learned the most about it. And all the critics that are calling for John Butler to be fired or Nebraska to find a new defensive coordinator and all of that, simmer on that just a little bit, give them a chance to make some adjustments, right? Like I think that there was also something to be said though. The lack of in-game adjustments was really unfortunate to see, I think, defensively. Nebraska, partially it's execution on the field. The other part is I felt like there were other ways that they maybe could have been a little more creative, dialing up pressure. It'll be interesting to hear from them this week. I just wonder, at times when Nebraska's bugaboo these last couple of years has been the lack of in-game adjustments, whether that's offensively or defensively. And, ultimately when it's all said and done, I just don't think, I think you have to look at the defensive front and go, all right, we would have liked to think that guys like Elijah Judy and Riley Van Poppel would be able to fill the holes of Nash and Ty from last year. But now you're 4 games in, you've seen enough of a sample size. Neither one of those, and Keona Davis is included in this. Nobody's dominant up front, and there's just nothing that I see in my very amateur eye that looks and says, yeah, you know what? These 3 guys consistently are able to generate enough pressure in the Big Ten.
Now, this is interesting. Somebody from Great Britain texted in. I like that right there. It says the case is this: high-end 3 stars and non-consensus 4 stars versus 4 and 5 stars. And I think there's legs to that because there was definitely a gap.
It is. I get there's legs to it, but if Nebraska's going to frame themselves, Matt Rule more specifically, as being this developmental staff. They're going to find diamonds in the rough, and they're going to be able to develop these guys on Saturdays to be able to win games against opponents like Michigan. Then we can't use that.
No,
we can't use that cop out. And I'm not saying that the texter is, but it's we can't use that. And it goes back to what you and I say all the time, AD. Like, now's the time.
Yeah.
Like, now's the time.
Yeah.
So if we want this year to be the time, we have to hold them to this higher standard. We can't allow them to say, all right, well, let's give them another year because they're still developing some 3-stars. No, like, that can't happen. And so the staff went out. Let's just call it what it is. Let's call it what it is here. The staff went out and identified a couple of very key positions where they needed to get better. Offensive line, they added 2 guys that they paid a good amount of money for. Wide receiver, they added 2 guys that they paid a good amount of money for, in Isaiah Hunter and Dane Key. They elected to not go out and add anybody from the running back into the running back room as well, and they felt like it was necessary enough to bring Emmett Johnson back to the team, right? So they surrounded Dylan Raiola with a ton of weapons, okay, on the offensive side. Now the defensive side, you go back out and you get Keona Davis. Williams Werneri, you brought him in, right? And then also in the linebacker room, bring in Marquise Watson-Trent, who had a very bad game on Saturday. You bring in Dasan McCullough, who made a couple of shining plays, but also there were a lot of other spots to where he just was non-existent. There's been a lot of the guys that played meaningful snaps on Saturday that did not make plays. And that's as brute and as honest as we can make it.
It's a business now. You got to look at the return on the investment, like you just mentioned, Nick. Real quick before we go to break, we'll come back to more discuss it. You look at overall first downs. Michigan had 16, Nebraska had 23. Total offense, Michigan had 391. We had 351. And then as far as kickoff yards, they were 7 for 455. We were 4 for 246. The big ones, the third down conversions, they were 4 of 12. We were 2 of 13.
Well, and what's crazy about that, this is what I go back to the poise of Bryce Underwood. And I'm glad you brought up the third down conversion.
That was huge.
Because let's look at this from a Nebraska standpoint, whether it's a true freshman or a sophomore quarterback in the case of Dylan Raiola. Before that last drive, Michigan was 1 of 9, or they were 1 of 8, I believe, on third downs. A big part why they were still winning the game is because they just didn't get to a lot of third downs, but they were 1 of 8. Then on that last drive of the game that Michigan was able to go 15 plays for 70 yards and take 8 minutes and change off the game clock, went up by a couple of points, by 7 points, trying to put Nebraska away on the road. The poise of Bryce Underwood to be able to lead the team down the field on the road in an environment like Nebraska, they converted 3 of 4 third downs.
Nick, that last drive was 16 plays, 77 yards, took up 8 minutes and 46 seconds. They needed third down of 5, 9, and 10, and they converted on all of them.
They started that drive at 12 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and the drive ended with 3 minutes and 54 seconds. I mean, that is bizarre to think about. We would be sitting here if Nebraska was able to do that, whether you have a senior quarterback or a freshman or an offensive line, whatever it might have been. We would be sitting here with our hands up, praising the Lord because holy cow, Nebraska just dominated the game when they needed to. And so conversely, we need to say, you know what? We respect the crap out of that, because that's when I realized, you know what? Michigan's got a pretty good team. They have a pretty good team, because the ability to not only dominate for 3.5 quarters at that point, but then when you needed a drive and you were up by a touchdown already and you needed a drive, Michigan starts their drive on their own 20-yard line with 12 minutes and 40 seconds. They take all the clock all the way down to the Nebraska 11-yard line, 3 minutes and 54 seconds to go. They converted on a 3rd and 10. They converted on a 3rd and 9. And they converted on a 3rd and 5. Those are all positions that favor Nebraska.
Right.
3rd and medium or longer. And Nebraska wasn't able to get off the field, but also Michigan was able to run the ball at will. Goes back to what Pogge said.
Yep.
Beating the snot out of them physically.
I'm going to try to read a few before we go to one real fast. Can I interject a quote from Aaron towards the armchair coaches who wanted to get rid of Coach the First Look? Adversity, relax. As bad as the coach is facing top 25 opponents, Rule, Holgorsen, and Butler and Eckler are only 0-1. And a good point from unknown texture 0628. Look at the Bengals. Spent all that money to wide receivers, but no offensive line. Look how they're doing. Joe was hurt because he sacked all the time. 2 highly paid receivers. Catch no balls because off the line. Folks, we'll discuss this a little bit more as we get into 3 coaches and 3 campuses that are in some trouble as well. It's The Drive. We'll be right back.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. If I can have today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flags are underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history.
Finish, boy.
Close to downtown, amazing campground. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
When only the best will do. Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O, sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back. We are back. I'm going to try to read a few more of these before we move on. We'll talk about this. Well, we got a lot of days to talk about it. So we'll do some grading tomorrow, which will be fairly easy to do as far as that goes. Unknown Texture 9495 says it's easy to have poise when you have a good line.
Maybe. I mean, you still got to make good decisions. Like, and the running back still got to find the right holes. And I just think that, ultimately there's a lot that goes into it. What my whole point was is, like, give credit where credit's due. And when Michigan needed to close out the game, they did so. And we'd be ecstatic as Nebraska fans if Nebraska on the road in a Big Ten environment was able to go on a 9-minute drive almost in the fourth quarter with a touchdown lead and extend their lead. You talk about taking the wind out of the sails, talk about taking the energy out of the stadium. There you go.
Absolutely.
A 9-minute drive will do it.
Yes, it definitely will. And you know what, Nick? And again, I know I keep harping on this, but it is what it is. It's the truth. Numbers don't lie. Our eyes do not deceive us. When you play dog football like Michigan does, man, and they impose their will on you, it is a serious thing when you have to go back to your locker and really have a serious heart-to-heart with yourself. Because that last drive, Nick, they did what they wanted to do when they had to do it. And so that's impressive to be able to do that. You just said, and Nick, I totally agree with you. Said too, we're going to see how good Michigan is. I think Michigan is a dang good football team, and they showed it. Obviously they went into Oklahoma, tough area. Oklahoma's a very good football team, which we all know, with their quarterback as well and their entire team and defense. But Nebraska, the bright side of this, Nick, is you see where you're at. It's like, you know what? All right, because I'm not saying anybody was read their own newspaper clippings or anything like that. But no one in that on that team, and I'm sure no one does, has anything to stick your chest out about other than saying, you know what, we got work to do. It's time to go 0 dark 30 and get in the lab and go to work.
Yeah, Michigan 8.7 yards per carry, 0.7 yards per carry, yards per completion for Michigan 8.8. That's disgusting. Well, it's disgusting from a Nebraska view because you're allowing the exact same 0.1 different, a tenth of a yard difference on average per completion that you are per rushing attempt. Now, it might be a little scaled because of the 75-yard run by Justice Haynes. But and then on the flip side, it's important to note Nebraska, if you take away the sacks, they average about 3.8 yards per carry, which is fine, right? You want that up in the 4.5s or so. But Nebraska there, once you go, also, here's the thing. So the same way we take sacks out of it for Nebraska, if you take the 2 sacks away that Nebraska had on Bryce Underwood, the average rush per carry, 9.1 for Michigan, because they lost 4 yards. So if you take away the sacks for Michigan, they averaged 9.1 yards per carry. Nebraska averaged 3.8. That's just not good. No, not good. Nebraska lost a total of 49 yards, half of a football field, because of sacks. Well, Michigan had 9 tackles for loss.
Nick, when you mention it that way, because it's the truth, half a field lost in sacks. Think about when we tied it, we only managed 10 second half points until that final drive. That was it. We managed nothing until that final drive, and we couldn't sustain drives. Didn't generate enough offense under the adjustments, keyword that Michigan made. Like I said, Nick, the stunts that they did, it confused us. And then when they did, and there were times, Nick, they didn't even stunt. They just man up, just beat you.
Yeah.
Just mano a mano, just beat you up and down the field. Their defense was disruptive. The pressure, the sacks. So yeah, there's a lot to be discussed this week going into for the off week.
This is the mid-game adjustments that I'm talking about. Michigan did it, and Nebraska didn't. At halftime, obviously it was tied, and the storyline of the game, I think it can be told in that third quarter. Nebraska in the third quarter had a total of 54 yards. Michigan in that third quarter had a total of, 108. They doubled up Nebraska in terms of yardage in the third quarter alone. Nebraska was unable to sustain drives in that third quarter. We talk about the middle eight, right? All the time. Middle eight, all the time. Nebraska did not win. They got the Hail Mary in the end of the first half, yeah. But they did not. They were not able to do it. I would say this. The Hail Mary is going to cover it up. The Hail Mary is going to cover it up. Nebraska was still atrocious in the 2-minute offense. They got the ball back with 1:51, and they could only muster it up to get to midfield. They started the drive. They only in 1 minute and 51 seconds, they were able to, in the 2-minute offense, they were only able to get 25 yards. Not necessarily ideal there, right? In a designed 2-minute offense.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that gets covered up from the Hail Mary, but it was not a good 2-minute offensive set, as well as the red zone offense was bad too.
I'm going back to Cali. Unknown texture 5769 from California.
Okay, there you go. I was like, how's that play in?
He says the positive is that the loss was early. Yes, it is early. That is definitely some silver lining in a very dark cloud, if you would. And Nebraska's got to improve. That's the bottom line. There is no question where they need to improve that, and that's both sides of the line and just overall toughness as far as it goes. And Nick, we'll talk about this a lot during the week, of course. But that young defensive line was introduced to big-time college football on Saturday.
Yeah. There's something to be said, I think, that, at some point Nebraska's going to have to, how do I say this? I think we're going to see Nebraska really open it up through the passing game. Nebraska threw the ball 40 times this game, 30-41 through the air for Dylan. 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. I don't know how well Nebraska is going to be able to run the ball. You can say, well, Nebraska was down for the game. They had to throw the ball. Not the entire game. You lost by 3 points. You lost by 3. Now at the end, when you scored the garbage time touchdown, you had to throw it, sure. But I mean, still, I said it when we opened up the show. In the second half, Nebraska, 0 rush yards in the second half. 0 rush yards in the second half on 9 attempts.
I'm very concerned, Nick, about our offensive line, even throwing the ball more, because you got to protect them.
Yeah, and that's the other part, right?
Right. I'm very concerned about them.
I think we did see, though, and this is something I've been kind of clamoring for. One area Nebraska hasn't really done a whole lot is get Ja'Cory Barney vertical. There's been so much east to west with Ja'Cory Barney, try to get him out in space, and we saw that to a certain extent on Saturday. But if you look at the touchdown pass, Ja'Cory was vertical. It was straight. Let's just go. Let's go up the hash. That's where Ja'Cory hurt a lot of teams last year, was vertical. He's one of the best athletes on this team, one of the fastest guys on this offense.
Tough guy, too.
We just haven't seen him go vertical. It's been a lot of underneath east to west, try to get him with his athleticism, and he has. But, man, that seems like a spot that Nebraska's been missing out on.
Folks, when we come back, we got the 80 attitude adjustment. It's been a fast ride. It's been a drive-by of sports, that is. We'll be right back.
Farmers know it all starts with the soil. At Carbon Connections, they're helping you unlock its full potential. Their high-quality humic acid improves nutrient uptake, boosts root development, and enhances soil structure, so your crops get more from every acre. But it doesn't stop there. With a full lineup of crop protection products, they help you reduce synthetic inputs while protecting yields and profits. Smarter inputs, healthier soils, better returns. It's time to grow more naturally. Visit Carbon Connections on Facebook or call them today at 402-947-1476 to learn how they can help your farm thrive. Carbon Connections, unlocking your potential.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning, showers and storms possible late. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with a high near 86. Tonight, showers and storms likely with a low around 64. And tomorrow, a continued chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high around 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, I'm Casey Oddie, and I'm the Retail Banking Manager at your local Midwest Bank branch on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Banking may be my job, but supporting the community is what I care most about. Whether I'm showing up at local events, partnering with schools, or helping people reach financial milestones, I am proud to be a part of what makes Lincoln strong. Let's build something together. Stop by and say hi. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
This is your invite to Lincoln's Oktoberfest. On Saturday, September 27th, come to Beer House at 8th and P in the Haymarket from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. for a full day of German fun. Live bands, mouth-watering food, cold brews, and games for every age. Try your hand at Steinholding, Cornhole, or bring friends for Hammerschlagen. Admission is just $9 in advance, and VIP gives you tokens, a Stein, rooftop access, and more. Lincoln's Oktoberfest, where the beer is flowing, the food is sizzling, and the spirit is Bavarian strong. Be there. Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Nebraska Lottery.
Do you have a new lotto game called Nebraska Pick 4?
Yes, sir. It costs just $1 to play. There's a $6,000 top prize with drawings every day, and you can choose from 6 different bet types.
Kind of like Nebraska Pick 3 with a bigger jackpot and more bet options?
Yes, sir. Any other questions I can answer?
Yeah, I misplaced my phone. Do you know where it is?
You're using it.
Ah, so I am. You lottery people know everything.
Straight bet top prize odds 1 in 10,000.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
It's nearly time for Bonsall Pool & Spa's Truckload event. From September 23rd through the 27th, stop by Bonsall Pool & Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to see an actual truck full of hot tubs with special prices. You'll save up to $3,000 on all hot tubs and swim spas, as well as $1,500 on all saunas and cold plunges. Use Nebraska football's bye week well by stopping in on September 27th for refreshments and giveaways. That's Bonsall Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard in Lincoln.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back. We want to thank all of you for tuning in on The Drive. We're going to be talking Michigan all week because we can all week because there's an off game and off week, and then we'll be talking about Michigan State the following. But there's a lot, Nick, as you mentioned, to unpack from this. I still want to get a lot from your input, but a number of folks texting in, so we appreciate you for doing that and riding along with us here. Because at this point, we're all armchair quarterbacks, but at the same time, the stats don't lie regardless if you're an armchair or an actual quarterback. You can see the stats and your eyes saw what they saw.
This could also be therapeutic. Yeah. It's therapeutic for AD and I.
That's right.
It can be therapeutic for you guys as well. So
you know what, Nick? It was a good weekend, though, for me, man. The Steelers didn't let me down.
That's true.
As much as they tried, which we'll discuss them tomorrow.
It's
as much
a
as
big
they
one
tried.
tonight.
It's that game
tonight
tonight.
is a big one. How about the good Monday night matchups that we've had so far? Well, matchup that we're about to have between the Ravens and the Lions tonight.
What's the spread on that one?
Ravens by 6.5 is what it currently sits at.
In Detroit or
it's in Baltimore?
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's gonna be tough.
It is.
I think it's gonna be. You know what, Nick? I think it's gonna be a high scoring game.
I hope so.
I think it's gonna be a high scoring.
I hope
game.
so. I feel better about Detroit's chances if it's high scoring.
But you know what I feel sorry for?
Who's that?
The defensive backs for Detroit.
I do too.
Because I hope none of them get beat by and stiff arm to the ground
by
Derrick Henry.
Hey, how's this turf taste? Dave from Renewed chimes in and says it's currently minus 4.5 for the Baltimore Ravens. It opened this morning at 6.5.
I am going to stay up to watch that game. I'm going to tell you that. If it gets crazy, I'm going night. But if it's a tight game, I'm definitely going to stay up and watch that game. That's going to be a great one.
Have I told you about the story about my buddies and I down at the Kansas City Power and Light District with the Jacksonville Jaguars? I'll have to tell you about it off air.
Okay.
But I will reply to this. My buddy Jared.
You were watching a game there.
We were watching the game. My buddy Jared says, question for Nick, was the Jaguars win this weekend their best win since McFadden's? We're in McFadden's Sports Bar in the Power and Light District. I can't tell it on air. But yes, Jared, it absolutely was.
Yeah,
it was.
That was young Nick. Very young Nick.
That was freshly turned 21, Nick. I'll say that. Freshly turned 21, Nick. And legalized sports betting. And the Jaguars came from behind 27-0 to the Los Angeles Chargers in the playoffs.
Oh my gosh.
They won on a last-second field goal.
Young Nick was very happy.
Young Nick. McFadden's
He
was
turned the
cheering.
place out.
McFadden's was cheering for young Nick. It was incredible. DJ turned off the music so we could turn it on the game. Anyway, what's the AD adjustment?
Man, good time. Better times, as Bush and Sip would say.
Much better times.
Yes. Folks, I want to give Heidi Brandt a big shout out. She is the founder of Healing Heights Foundation. They had their Hell on the Hill on Sunday morning. I had the privilege to share for that to get it kicked off. And it was a beautiful morning, Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Outstanding turnout. But one of the things I said to them is this, and again, if you need some questions answered, just some resources, go to healingheights.org. And again, that's healingheights.org foundation. I've got some great stuff there to get you plugged in with people regarding mental health and just a resource. You don't have to do it alone. But Hell on the Hill, folks, it wasn't just about the hill. It was a mirror of life because we all got some hills we got to climb. Sometimes they feel like mountains. The reality is this. The first step is knowing that the hill is real. It's going to be steep. There are going to be some edges, but you don't have to do it alone. That was the beauty of the event. They could tag team. They could help each other out. There is help out there. You don't have to scale your own Mount Kilimanjaro by yourself. There are Sherpas, meaning help and resource to help you do it. You don't have to climb alone. Check out HealingHeightsFoundation.org.
There it is.
Swim.
20 seconds left, my friend.
Yes, great show, folks. It is still September. It is still Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Get in, guys and gals. Get your physicals. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg-curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Hi, I'm Casey Oddie, and I'm the Retail Banking Manager at your local Midwest Bank branch on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Banking may be my job, but supporting the community is what I care most about. Whether I'm showing up at local events, partnering with schools, or helping people reach financial milestones, I am proud to be a part of what makes Lincoln strong. Let's build something together. Stop by and say hi. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Sometimes it's hard to know if substance use is becoming a problem, especially when it becomes part of daily life or social routines. Take the free assessment, Is Your Substance Use Harmful, at myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can understand your risk. You can take the assessment anonymously. In just minutes, you'll get